Hey, this is Mike McAdam. Welcome back to GenX Guitar. Today we're going to take a look at the top 10 off-the-grid acdc riffs, so stick around. So this is a series of riffs that I want to do with famous artists where we take really well-known bands and look at their top 10, what I'm calling off-the-grid riffs. So with a band like acdc that have had so many great riffs over their career, we're kind of splitting hairs here between what's an off-the-grid riff and what's on the grid. What I'm saying is a lot of their top 10 riffs that would make just about any list, I'm talking TNT, Dirty Deeds, Hell's Bells, etc., those riffs aren't going to be on here. So we're going to take a look at some riffs, many of which you may have heard of and some of which you may not have heard of. So fun story, I think it was 1988, I was walking around in Boston, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw three guys hailing a cab, and they had slightly strange clothes on, and they were little guys, and lo and behold, it was acdc. So they were playing in a town called Worcester that night, and I guess they were spending that day in Boston. So that was my personal story with acdc from 75 feet away. That's as close as I ever got. So these riffs are not going to be presented in any kind of top 10 order. They're just 10 random riffs. Of course, if you feel like I missed a few, comment below, but here we go. So the first riff I'm going to do is from 1981's For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. I remember literally getting this on LP for Christmas of 1981. It was a good year. This song is the third track on the album called Let's Get It Up. Classic riff that definitely has a day tripper type of vibe to it. Always love that riff and definitely makes my top 10 off the grid riffs. So this next riff, total banger from acdc. This is from the 1979 Highway to Hell album. This is If You Want Blood, You've Got It. Such a great riff. I love the kind of push that you get with the right hand as far as making that come alive rhythmically. It's really Malcolm at his best with just that grinding acdc type rhythm guitar that has made so many great songs over the years. So the next one is from High Voltage. This one is called The Little Lover. The thing I love about this riff is sometimes bands have riffs and songs that wouldn't have necessarily made their later catalog, and I feel like this is one of those songs that they probably wrote really early in their career and is a little different. I can't think of another song in their catalog that's quite the same, so I think that uniqueness makes it really interesting. It goes like this. Anyway, very cool riff. I love the kind of honky-tonk woman G chord at the beginning of it. Just very different. I love the clean guitar sound. Mine's a little more distorted, but I just love how pure and how simple that riff is. So this next one is from 1978's Powerage album. This is Riff Raff. This is such a cool riff. There's actually a bunch of really cool riffs in it, but I'm going to look at the first two riffs, and they go like this. So this next song is from 1976's High Voltage album. This is called She's Got Balls, and I guess this was a love song that Bon wrote to his wife where she broke up with him afterwards. So this is a cautionary tale of what not to do when you're writing songs. So much fun playing that riff. It's so great playing that low pedaling A underneath it. It just gives it so much weight to it. Balls, if you will. But that song's a classic. So our next riff is from 1980's Back in Black. This is a riff from the song Shake a Leg. There's so many awesome riffs on this album, and you can't really call it Under the Grid since everyone owns this album, but this song seems to fly under the radar a little bit, so here we go. So that riff is so awesome. I imagine these guys were just sitting around going, okay, we have this killer riff for this song. It's so great. Let's take it and play it a fourth higher. And that goes like this. That's Shake a Leg, killer riff from 1980. So this next riff is from 1977's Let There Be Rock album. I love this tune. One of the reasons I put this riff on here is because acdc would go back to this idea many times in the future. Classic riff. This is from Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. So it's definitely one of those songs where the riff was too cool to only use for one song. This has been recycled in a bunch of songs, as I previously mentioned, but just a blast to play. Love that tune. So sticking with 1977's Let There Be Rock, geez, I could have done a whole riff series on that album. We're going with Overdose, and Overdose is a classic kind of B-side acdc song that a lot of people haven't heard. The thing I like about it is you have a couple of kind of arpeggiated chords, which is not their normal MO, and it's a neat riff. It goes like this. Love that riff. I love how the chords are ringing out and the drums are playing fills in between. They do a similar thing on Walk All Over You, which almost made this list. And just a classic acdc tune. Love that tune. So this next riff is from High Voltage, which came out in 1976. And this is Can I Sit Next to You, Girl? So I love the thing they do here with the question and answer vocal, where you have the vocals come in and the guitar answer with that single note riff. Such a great tune. Again, it's one of their early songs where you never really heard them do anything quite like that again. So I think it's a really unique song, and just the whole rhythm part is awesome. This last one we're doing here is from 1980's Back in Black album. This is Have a Drink on Me. This is such a great twist on a blues lick and such a great intro for such a great song. Love that riff. I love the way it starts off with the guitar, sounds a little far away, and then the band just comes crashing in. Just classic riff. Love that song, the way the vocals build up in it. Just such a great track. So that's my top 10 off the grid acdc riffs. Let us know what you think about them in the comments below. In the meantime, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out a lot and allows us to continue to make these kind of videos. In the meantime, I will see you in the next video, and thanks for checking out GenX Guitar.